Welcome to Mindflow Radio Show.
We are creating conscious community by sharing mindful manifesting skills and transcendental music.
We are all in this together.
Free your mind.
Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind.
Here we are.
Now be here, now be here, now be here.
For me to be is to be free.
Free your mind, free your mind.
Now be here.
Now be here now, now be here. We are all in this together. We are all in this together. We are all in this together.
Energy.
Forgive, let go, release. Forgive, let go, release. Faith, trust, love. Faith, trust, love. I am grateful for everyone. I am grateful for everything.
Thank you.
I am grateful, so grateful.
Thank you, universe.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am so grateful for you.
inside of circles,
inside of a circle,
of circles inside of circles inside of circles,
inside of circles,
circles,
inside
of circles inside of circles inside of circles, inside circles inside
of life,
of circles. Infinity to the far reaches of our minds and beyond, streaking past
infinity,
the heavens
beyond
to forever,
infinity,
forever,
beyond
forever.
infinity.
Here we are,
Now be here,
here we are,
now be here,
the
now be
eternal
now
present.
Welcome to Mindflow Radio, everybody. We are here today.
Mindflow Radio.
He's Monty.
She's Lynn. Yeah,
And we've made it another week.
we have.
Phew. So
Okay.
we're sharing our recorded music this week because I don't think my voice can handle it today.
She's got a bit of a cold.
It's not COVID.
C'est la vie.
I know this is
Oh, we don't know.
well, yeah, I guess tests aren't always right. But, I have to say, I get one every fall. And in Chinese medicine, it's considered releasing latent heat. And it's actually like a healthy thing for your body.
Well, it's an interesting time to have.
Something that's quote unquote healthy. So, yeah, I have never been afraid of the cold.
Yeah. Do you continue?
Till this year.
Oh, okay. It's not good for socially.
It isn't good socially because now I'm afraid to scare people more than anything.
I think people are already scared, perhaps.
Yeah, I remember when we recorded at WDRT studio and I had a really bad cold one time, probably about this time, a couple years ago. And I remember, we all thought it was funny. We all thought my voice sounded funny and it was a funny show. And I tried to sing and it was just this comical, like no big deal. Nobody was worried about it. And then there's this year, but we're in our home studio, so
2020.
it's okay. I promise to sanitize everything afterwards.
Really? Nah.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Why?
I don't know. Because other people come in, our guests come in here and we like to sanitize sometimes.
Do we?
I do.
I don't. I'm not into that.
I got this fancy sanitization spray for door handles. It's all got thyme and oil in it, or thyme and lemon oil. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about perspective because what this has shown me is that perspective is everything. And
what do you mean by that? Perspective is everything.
Well, we gather our opinions by media we hear, by beliefs we have, by our internal dialogue.
Yeah.
And then from there, it
by the way,
creates
we've been
perspective.
raised. Yeah.
Yeah.
The perspective is like the lens that we see the world through.
Yeah.
And see ourselves through.
Yeah, and everyone has their own perspective, and some of us have the perspective that we've been fed through mainstream media. So it's important to question our personal perspectives. Like, what is my perspective and why is it my perspective? And in mindfulness, one thing that I've found is that curiosity is everything. You have to be curious. You want to observe. You want to see the details.
Well, yeah, and you want to see the entire picture.
Right.
Both sides of it, the good and the bad.
And to do that, you have to be willing to see different perspectives.
Yeah, you do. You do. Walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, perhaps.
Yeah.
So empathy plays a big role in like an expanded perspective.
Exactly. So,
Well, and that's what hatred does, is it cuts us off from like empathizing.
yeah.
Like if I hate somebody, I just like am
They're
wishing
less
them.
than.
Yeah, well, I'm wishing them ill will. And in our country right now, it's like so many people are just caught up in blind hatred, I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and so it limits their perspective. In other words, it narrows the range that they can see, the range that they can like view.
Yeah. And that feeds into what's your media diet? What's your media ingestion?
Yeah, forget that.
What's your media sources?
Yeah.
And
Well, and
why do you pick them?
Yeah.
And, I mean, some people pick mainstream media because they feel it's the most factual.
Well, and it's like an old habit. I mean, 30 years
That's totally
ago,
learned.
30
Yeah.
years ago,
It probably was factual.
well, I'm not saying it was even, because it wasn't a lot of times. I mean,
That's
30
funny.
years ago, the media is like convincing us to go to war in Vietnam, or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
60 years ago, 50 years ago, 60, it's convincing us to go to war in Korea. I mean, it hasn't necessarily been factual, but it was definitely believed. And now, more, I don't know, just the vibe was believe the media,
Yeah.
and a lot of the stuff they said was true, I'm sure, I don't know. It's just tricky.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've been living in the dark ages, and see, my news sources.
Yeah, what?
My
what
news
are your
sources.
news sources?
Mothership Alliance.
Okay.
Big shout out to the Mothership Alliance.
MA, yeah.
The Ma. And I like to, I'm learning what Schumann's resonance is. It's the heartbeat of the earth. And, there's just all this great stuff that I'm learning about that, maybe a long time ago I might have even like turned my head away. Like, what? That's over my head. So it must not be true. It's not believable because I can't fathom it. But that's my main news source.
Okay.
Right
I think one of my main news sources is listening to Joe Rogan podcast. Well, he brings a lot of experts into the field. Well, I don't love Joe Rogan, but he brings like a fresh energy into the whole media spectrum.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's essentially an pretty open-minded human who has a lot of courage, and he interviews a lot of really interesting people like Elon Musk and whomever,
Yeah, I think what's cool about him, I mean,
Edward Snowden.
I personally can't handle all the cuss words, but I do like to cuss here and there, but not constantly. And no diss.
No.
Joe, if you happen to listen to this, we love you. But
Indeed.
I love that he thinks for himself.
Yeah,
and
right.
I think that's mindfulness. It's being able to see more clearly all sides of a story, and
totally.
then make your own opinion and know it's an opinion.
Well, and part of the mindful perspective too is being willing to shift your perspective as new variables emerge.
Yeah, right.
So there's a flexibility involved with being mindful, while the non-mindful perspective is just like rigid. It's like you put people in a box, and you just and you put them in a box, and that's just the way it is, and what's right, and blah blah blah. And
right.
it's like,
because somebody told you that was right.
Yeah, right.
That's the part that really bothers me. Yes, there's a level of obedience that's not even acknowledged. And that is what is uncanny to me, is that, it's like, okay, one person points at another person and says, that's wrong. Or what was the word that we heard on, I think we were listening to Duncan Trussell. That's another one of our podcast faves, I guess.
Yeah.
And he was saying, what was it? Value something. It's like some PC thing.
Oh,
Value.
No. It's see, I don't use these terms very often.
We're not very PC.
No, we're not. It's that one where signify
value signaling. Virtue signaling. There you go. Yeah, and I think virtue signaling, I think if everybody was just a little more open-minded to go, where did I get this information?
Yeah.
Because it's so funny. I mean, I have family on both sides of this polarized government.
Yeah.
BS, really.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the things that both of them say. It's just like, oh my God. So basically, if either person can vote, is in office, we're all just screwed.
Well, there's just so much self-righteousness, and that's part of feeling like you're in a position to point out when others are virtue signaling.
Right.
It's like, the truth, blah, 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 and in reality, the whole right-left thing
is polar.
Well, it's not even polar. It's just like the same. Polar. It's the same coin. It's just different sides of the same coin. While a lot of us are outside that entire like little left-right spectrum.
Do you think it's a lot, or do you think it's just a lot of the people we know
are outside of it?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are outside of it. I don't think,
Yeah, I wish there was a really good way to honestly get a real poll.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Cool. I mean, it would just be informative. Like, how many people buy into this system?
Yeah, buy into this left-right thing and feel like that's the only game in town.
Yeah, because in my opinion, there's like some underlying force that controls it all, and they're both the same, so it doesn't really matter. But
yeah,
I guess we'll skip over that one because everybody's tired of hearing political stuff.
It would be nice to have a term for a new paradigm, though.
Yeah, the golden age.
The golden age. So the golden age transcends the left-right paradigm.
Oh yeah, and basically in my Ma news.
Yeah. Mothership Alliance.
Yeah, the Mothership Alliance. If it were to acknowledge that maybe the Earth is talking, maybe the Earth is purging, maybe the Earth is evolving, and it's time to accept that could be an option. And there's to think that humans are seriously the top of the food chain is really false. That's like false security. I mean, because the Earth is a conscious being that we've all been sucking off of for thousands and thousands of years. Like, the Earth has every right to create a virus. The Earth has every right to burn down areas that she wants to make anew. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, there's man-made help though in all those areas. Too,
maybe, and I mean,
but I mean to feel. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. That we're not actually top of the ladder.
Yeah,
that there could be a comet that could just wipe out the Earth real quick.
Yeah.
Whatever. Everything could just go haywire and we're all gone.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's that.
I don't even. That's true, but I don't believe that that's what's happening.
No.
And I think that what's happening is the Earth is evolving and leveling up, and those who don't level up with are going to pass away because that's what mortality is.
Yeah, and we all
beings.
Pass away eventually.
Yeah,
but,
we have 100% chance of dying. So true. It's so real, and it's so hard to accept.
Well, I mean, I think it's important that, perhaps everything that's going on now is, in a sense, predestined and supposed to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe the universe knew all this was going to happen, and it's playing a role in our evolution.
Right.
You
Yeah, the
know?
universe is like even greater and grander than the Earth.
Yeah, the Earth is like a
itself.
speck of dust.
I know,
man.
and we're
pretend
literally
Yeah.
just the fleas.
Well, I don't know if we're the fleas, but we're these actually rather significant, like
Well, yeah.
God beings.
I don't
you know?
mean to say we're totally parasitic, but we do
No.
have our parasitic qualities.
Well, I don't know.
There are a lot of people. I mean, think about. Oh, yeah. Okay. What just went through my mind is how we have changed farming into this nasty industry, factory farming, and there's pigs just stuffed in a building.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Well,
we are
that's-
totally parasitic.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we lack compassion. A lot of us, you know, we could say that just as a whole. You know,
In the
what I mean?
name of free or cheap food.
Well, yeah, that makes us sick. But that's part of just the evolution of things. We're going to learn to be more compassionate towards each other,
Yeah.
towards animals, towards, you know, the trees. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's coming. It's happening right before our eyes because a lot of people are waking up to that reality that we need to be compassionate towards each other and towards ourselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just tired of the hate paradigm,
Mm-hmm.
you know, feeling like hate is the way, you know, and that's what a lot of what the mainstream media is telling us is that hatred is the way.
I like that you feel that it's a lot of people. That makes me
yeah.
feel good because I
Yeah.
feel like it's actually a pretty small percentage, but
No, I mean, Joe Rogan talks about it all the time, and he has millions. He's the most powerful media personality in this country,
that's cool.
you know, and and him and Duncan were talking the other day about how we just need to be more compassionate and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, quit judging others.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like so ridiculous, you know, that we think we're in a position to judge like millions of people and the bottom line is if we're like way into judging and hating others, then when we make mistakes, guess what? We judge and hate ourselves.
Yeah.
And we make plenty of mistakes. I make plenty of mistakes.
Yeah, me too.
And it's hard for me to not beat myself up sometimes, you know, but what are you going to do? We're all flawed humans.
Yeah.
We're all confused.
We're physical beings.
Yeah, nobody's enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to say nobody, but nobody I've ever met, I don't think. You know, and
I think enlightenment is a not contingency. What's the
Continuum.
word? Continuum.
but
yeah.
still, there's got on some end of the continuum is enlightenment. You know,
Yeah.
Boom. I mean, and I agree. You know, there's probably different levels of enlightenment and yada yada yada. But
Enlightenment. Do you equate enlightenment to awakeness, like awakening to like
Well-
more reality instead of
yeah.
like a narrow focus?
well, I think you know
Because that would mean that a lot of people are
moving in
touching
that direction. Well, yeah.
enlightenment.
Well, I don't know about touching it, but a lot of us are moving in that direction.
Yeah.
You know, I think, and that's real, and that's what's happening in 2020. And everybody who
Yeah.
says 2020 is just totally fucked up, I disagree.
You said
2020 vision.
it.
2020 vision.
Yeah,
Finding compassion.
I have had a lot of really great insights this year. And, you know, one of my favorite astrology sources, Serious
Yeah.
Joy,
All right.
he says that it wouldn't have mattered what happened this year. We were still going to have these insights. We were still going to have the internal shifts. And it didn't matter what was happening in the outside world, but the outside world is definitely supporting it.
Yeah. Well,
So I have to say, we let our kitties in the studio, and I'm so distracted because they like to eat cords.
Yeah. Well, and it's time for us to change. I mean, and that's what's going on right now in our culture. There's just a lot of pressure, and that's the nature of changing.
Yeah.
I mean, if everything's just status quo, we never change.
Right.
And so you can look at it from that perspective, just.
Sorry, scolding a kitty. I think.
Kitties are good at being in the
No.
moment.
No.
One of my cats comes with me and sits by me every time I meditate, or most of the time. It's really our cats help encourage us to find more peace of mind.
And protect our cords.
I think the cats, that's one hopeful thing about this country is we have so many cats. Because cats chill the F out of people, because we need that energy. And it's interesting too, if you look back in history, how did the real plague back, in the 1600s or whatever, how did that start? Is people freaked out and they killed the cats.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and the universe is like, what?
Did they really kill the cats?
They killed, people were freaking out saying cats communicate with the devil and whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was some religious thing?
I don't know. I think so, yeah.
You think they killed all the cats?
No, they killed a whole bunch of them though. And then the rats got really bad and the plague just boom. And that was a real plague.
Yeah. That was real.
That was real.
That was sad.
It was horrible.
And some of
I'm
us
sure.
might have been there. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
If you believe in reincarnation. That's one of the things, and I have to add this to the perspective idea. It's
What?
if you believe in reincarnation, that means that you've died before. And there's many ways to die. And some of our fears might be because of a deep ingrained fear of dying the same way or something like that.
Or past trauma is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So we might just bring into this life trauma from past lives.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps. Yeah. I mean, and that can be more than just dying. It can be whatever.
Yeah, suffering.
Yeah. Right.
Suffering sucks.
It does. Well, it's part of the human condition, essentially, but we don't, when it dominates us, that's when it's a problem, I think.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people are going through nowadays.
Suffering? Yeah, mental
Being
suffering.
dominated.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, just how many people have lost their jobs? How many people are just glued to the TV or glued to Facebook? You know, that alone creates a bunch of mental
so
anguish.
Much suffering and trauma happening right now. And I do want to tie it around that IMI is about to launch. We got about 3 more weeks before we launch a couple mini courses out there to help with the suffering that's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
And we honestly, earnestly we really overflow compassion and empathy, and we want to help because we know we can. We have the wisdom, we have the know-how, we've done it.
Well, and we work with people a lot, and we've helped a lot of people, but now we're just trying to expand that reach.
Yeah, and it's so interesting and how much suffering is happening right now, how much trauma, and how many people don't exactly recognize that they're experiencing trauma right now, which is why I was thinking about perspective today. And if we can open up to how did I come up with my perspective? How did, this is a mindfulness, a mindful living tip here.
Yeah.
How did I come up with this? Can I shift it? Can I add perspectives into my personal perspective and balance out so I can start to recover from this trauma that I'm experiencing.
So you're saying, can I expand my perspective?
Yeah.
Can I expand my perspective? Can I see the entire picture?
Can I diagnose how I came up with this perspective?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to that. I mean, one component is, can I forgive? Because if we're able to forgive others and ourselves for our mistakes, then it frees up our consciousness,
Yeah.
to be more present. And then, bam, the perspective is widening.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not present, how am I going to see anything?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it really is kind of a foundational tool that we have to really work with. And, it's like they say in addiction, I'm pretty sure that until you acknowledge that you have an addiction, you don't know. The same is true with trauma. Until you acknowledge that you're in a traumatic experience, you're in it. You're just doing your best to survive it. And it's not even a thought process. It's an unconscious, subconscious deal that your body goes through. And so your body's like, okay, must survive. And it just does what it does because that's how we were created.
Yeah.
And until we can acknowledge the process that we're in, we can't recover. We can't even come out of it because we're stuck inside this unconscious survival technique.
Yeah. And a lot of us, our minds are just tricked in a sense to be in this place of just complete panic, through massive amounts of screen time.
It's not good for our brain.
No, it's not. It's not good for our perspective either.
I think it gives me insomnia.
Oh yeah.
If I am looking at a screen up to bedtime, it can take hours to go to sleep.
I know for me that if I'm I love taking naps. I love taking power naps, like a 5-10 minute nap. But if I'm looking at Facebook, I can't do it.
Yeah.
My mind just won't settle down and won't go into
it.
that place. So it's almost like I have to choose. Do I take a nap or do I look at Facebook? And it's like,
That's so funny.
Well, I'd rather take a nap a lot of the time because that feels really good. Facebook feels really not so good usually.
Yeah. You got to choose your sources. So,
Be moderate.
I think we're going to call it for the day. But I really do. I'm sending out a plea, a request. Please share this with your friends and family. Please, let's get the word out there. I really feel like we have something to offer, and it's not because we want fame. It's because we want to share relief. We want to share true recovery. We want to share healthy ways of being.
Well, we want to be part of the change, the positive change that is happening culturally. And we just want to work together to help our culture evolve.
Yeah.
And that's what we're up to, and it starts with ourselves. It starts within our own minds, essentially. And the more peace of mind, the more clarity we have, the better off we all are.
Yeah.
So
this is like our own personal revolution. It's a healthy revolution. Let's get healthy in our minds so that our bodies can heal.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So we have one more song for you. Shiva Love. Shiva is the one, or the chant is about trusting that Shiva is the one in charge, and there's no reason to fear death because you're requesting that the divine pick you at the moment that you're meant to be picked versus rotting on the vine. So this is a song of accepting mortality and requesting the divine to make this life worth it. So you have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week.
Peace out, everybody. We are all in this together.
Yeah.
Energy is real.
Yeah.
Energy is reality.
Be well.
thank you for your presence. You've been listening to Mindflow Radio. You can support Mindflow Radio on Patreon and get exclusive content access. Big gratitude to Lotus Head for their mindful music, keeping us in the flow. A shout out to our sponsors, Integrated Mindfulness Institute. Online, visit www.imi.earth. For ideas, questions, or comments, contact us by email, connect@imi.earth. Many blessings on our health and peaceful evolution. We are all in this together.